last time on Abandoned Comfort.
We showed you our upgraded ground tackle setup that featured a 46-pound Ultra as our main anchor and a 100-pound Spade as our hurricane anchor. We also showed you our stern anchor setup and talked about our plans to make a snubber and upgrade our chain to 250 feet.
Our big secret.
So we'll get right into it. We don't do any clickbait here, so we'll jump right in. Our big secret is that we've actually been living aboard for the last year and 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
Yep.
So we know in the episodes it feels like a lot shorter. So we moved aboard
7 episodes.
7 episodes ago. So half of our series we lived aboard. But that's pretty much footage that's been compiled over a year and 2 months. A lot of the stuff that you've seen is not really in real time. And that's because life got in the way for the most part. The other big secret is
we haven't moved from the slip in about a year.
Yeah, almost a year to the day. So the boat has not moved at all for an entire year. We never planned on that at all. We were like, as soon as we buy the boat that fall, we're gonna go ahead and hit the dry Tortugas, hit Cuba, all this stuff. The boat didn't move.
We had plans.
Plans. We learned that the hard way with this lifestyle. So kind of in keeping touch with that, I planned on working my job for pretty much a full year after the day that I quit. So I was working my job as a financial advisor, and we planned on me working that job all the way up until we were about to leave for the Caribbean. I quit a year early. Again, plans. You can't plan with this lifestyle. So if you have like a hard date set or anything like that, it usually doesn't pan out. Just always be actively working towards it. The main reason why I quit, aside from a couple other things, I got into a car accident, couldn't be around LED lighting, and that's the environment that I worked in. So that was the main reason, and also at that same time I was starting a business.
So we took this time over the last year to really get to know the boat inside and out, and we had a pretty steep learning curve with the boat. We didn't know mechanics, we didn't know how to work a jigsaw, didn't know electrical, and I didn't know anything about sailing really before we got started. But it was great time and we learned a lot. Now we know electrical and diesel engines.
When we bought the boat, we never imagined that we would like living in the slip so much.
It doesn't move. The boat doesn't move.
Yeah, it's like living on land. Like this boat never moves in this slip. It's kind of like having a beach house, which was my dream from the get-go. So we stayed in the slip and we're like, hey, this is great. We don't have to be like going out and breaking stuff. So we got complacent and we got comfortable. Let's go over the jobs that we had prior to leaving and doing all of this so you guys have a really good look into our finances. We promised financial transparency, didn't we? But we're including side income. So there you have it. There's literally every single financial info that you guys can have on us. So we're gonna go over everything that we have in these numbers. It's not just job salaries, there's also some side hustles, and we incorporated some things that we sold in it.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and start with yours.
Cool. So Ryan is the financial guy in this family. I suck at math, but
Math is not her strong.
not so much. But so my average salary, including any of the side hustle, was about $35K that I made over the last 3 years.
Yeah. Kelsey
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, Kelsey was also working half of 2014, which we didn't incorporate, and during that time your salary was, it was right out of college. So
it was right about
25?
20, 25.
Yeah, 25. So she worked half of that year, so you can just say 12K. But during that year, you were just working to pay rent, so you didn't save anything. Nope. You didn't pay towards your debt at all.
We weren't working towards my debt. We were not talking about the boat. We were not planning for anything. So then in addition, the total earned was about a 101K, and then we included about 5K miscellaneous things that we sold with the apartment, with the boat, everything like that, just from my end, my clothes as well.
And all of these figures are in US dollars. Sorry for our international folks. Let's turn it over.
Okay.
Go through the breakdown.
So the breakdown of this is in 2015, I made about 30K from my job. I didn't make any side hustle. I wasn't really focused on that at all during 2015, and so it just included work and some raises in that. Then 2016, This is when we really started working on pursuing our dream, paying down our debt. So job, I made about $38K. Airbnb was about $8K that I made on my half. And then miscellaneous was about $5K on my half. 2017, this year. So we only have worked about half the year. So my total is actually, see, told you bad at math, 20K is what I made probably so far this year. And then in addition to that, again, sold more things this year. So yeah, these are my total numbers.
So before we get into my numbers, I want to cover something in regards to talking about money. So a lot of people might think that this is taboo, so we might hurt some people's feelings. But honestly, we really don't care, because we think this is going to help a lot more people than it will hurt. So if anyone's out there dreaming of their great adventure, or they want to cruise around the world or anything, we really think this will help, and there's no content really out there about that. So my average annual salary over the past 3 years has been $39,000. My total earned is $111,000 plus $5,000 in miscellaneous. That's mainly just selling stuff divided between me and Kelsey. So my total earned is $116,000. Again, this isn't supposed to be boastful or anything like that. This is a very average salary for most people. We're just saying that you don't need to be millionaires to do this. So let's go through the breakdown. So for 2015, I was in school for majority of the year. I actually forgot about my GI Bill that I was earning in that year. So let's say that I earned $6 grand from the GI Bill. So this is actually gonna be 38K. So a little mix up there, sorry. It's hot. So Turo, what that is, that was my side hustle for that year. It's another peer sharing thing. So I shared my 370Z. I would charge, what, like $100 a rental with it? And this was when I had a fancy car, not the Prius. So I was trying to find a way that I could make money to pay it off quicker at that point. This is when the dream was like coming to fruition for me. Again, I made like roughly 38K that year, including my GI Bill. I only worked 7 months out of the year, but the job that I did get out of school offered me a sign-on bonus of, I think it was $7,500. So that's where a majority of that salary came from. 2016, I worked 10 months of the year with my financial advisor job, and I made roughly $40,000. So I made $8,000 from Airbnb rentals, just like Kelsey did. So total 16 grand between the both of us. And the GI Bill that I had, because I was prior service, I made $10,000 that year. And 2017 is when the fun started for me. I had no job. So we made a little bit of money from Abandoned Comfort, roughly $3,000 up until this point. We're gonna make more than that over the year. I would say our annual for 2017 is gonna be like 10 grand from Abandoned Comfort. So not a ton of money, but definitely plenty for us, and we're extremely happy about it. GI Bill, I was also going to school then. I finished my undergrad in 2015, and then I was working on my master's these 2 years. So I actually ran out of GI Bill, so I only got $2,000. I did a 401k withdrawal from my previous job. That was mainly to fund my startup, and I haven't really talked about my startup. So what that was is a student loan repayment application. I'm still a part of the board there, but I had to take more of a backseat role because of Abandoned Comfort, and we hit our dollar amount on Patreon, so we're doing this full time. And lastly, we did a pitch competition with that startup out at South by Southwest, and I made $2,000 from that. So that gives us all of our numbers here.
So what do we do for money
while we're cruising the Caribbean? And the answer is pretty easy.
We're very grateful for our patrons. They do an awesome job of helping us continue our dream, but we want to note, if all of them stop contributing one day, we still have enough stability financially to continue sailing for the most part.
For the most part. I mean, we would have to do it old school style, and we're fine with that. Yep. Bumfuzzle did it, Wind Traveler did it, Delos did it in the age before Patreon.
Yep.
And I really love Patreon. I think it makes our jobs a hell of a lot easier because we can produce weekly episodes. We don't have to work a full-time job.
Yep. And
you as the viewer, you get weekly episodes. Our exchange would be, well, if Patreon went away, we're gonna be rolling burritos like Brady did from Delos, and you guys aren't gonna see episodes for a couple months at a time. So I think it's a fair exchange. I think it works well, but if Patreon wasn't there, we would definitely still be producing.
Yep.
it just wouldn't be nearly as frequent because we would have to get jobs. We don't have that much saved up. When we leave, we're probably gonna have like $7,500 saved up between the both of us.
That's including after all of our refits that we do as well.
Yeah, the boat's gonna be pretty much ready to go at that point. We're gonna have dumped probably 20 grand, 25 grand into the refit. We're gonna do a video on that later, so you guys will know all
You'll see
about
more
that.
later.
Going back into Patreon and how we're gonna be making money while cruising. A portion of that is also gonna be from ads on the videos, and I've realized that a good rule of thumb for the ads for us is it's gonna be roughly like $300 to $500 a month.
Yep.
So we're gonna be looking at roughly $1,500 total each month that we're gonna be making in revenue just from Abandoned Comfort. And that's actually what our budget typically is. It's on average a little bit less than that actually, because we're crazy frugal. But and living on a boat is pretty cheap when you're anchoring out all the time. I mean, you can live this lifestyle for cheaper than $1,500 a month.
Yeah, definitely.
So another thing that we should mention is 401k savings or retirement savings. Neither of us have any of it. And eventually we're gonna get to that point. We have an age cutoff that if we're not making enough from Abandoned Comfort or whatever it is we're doing for money at that time, that we would probably head back to work and be really vigilant with our retirement savings. But as of right now, we have 0.
Let's get into our plans.
Cruising.
Plans.
Alright, so we can't emphasize plans enough with this. We've learned the hard way. We're both extreme type A planners. That doesn't work with this lifestyle. Your whole home is meant to go with the breeze.
Yeah.
Literally. So plans do not work at all. So these plans are for sure going to pivot and adapt. So don't hold our feet to the fire on this. We do know we're going to go south though. That's what the previous owner told us to say. So we're going south.
So, we do know for sure our short-term plans because they're happening very soon. We are going to take the boat out of the water and do a refit on her. Refit will include sealing up some of the through holes.
Composting head, we're going to be replacing the teak decks. You guys have definitely seen how worn out they are, the original teak deck. They've been on the boat for 32 years. So we're taking up the teak decks, we're going to glass over them, and if funds allow it, we're going to go ahead and do some synthetic teak as well.
Yep. And then we're going to add a water maker, hopefully. Solar array as well.
Yep. So the solar array, we're looking at roughly 600 watts of solar right now. That's what we've budgeted for. The boat is going to be on the hard from August until the end of the year. So probably sometime in December, we don't know for sure yet. We're doing a road trip for all of August and all of September.
Yep.
And what we're going to be doing during that time is we're going to be camping in national parks, doing free camping, boondocking. So we're still going to be producing. There's not going to be a ton of episodes on that because we know this is a sailing series, but there are some people that are following us that don't have sailing as their great adventure plans. So we want to show how we're going to be able to do it, how we're going to be able to keep it cheap while we're doing our national park road trip throughout the United States.
We wanted to make sure that we saw the US, all the areas that we haven't seen so far in the US before we leave the US for a couple of years.
I mean, if we're going to see other countries, we need to know our backyard a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you where we're putting the boat on the hard. So as you can see, that black X right there, that's going to be in Port Charlotte. That's where the boat's going to be on the hard for the next 2 months in storage.
Yep.
And the remainder of the year after October, we're going to be living on it while working on it. Alright, so we're going to finish this off with our cruising plans. We're going to this mystical location known as
the Caribbean.
Like most other series. So sometime in December, January, we're gonna be leaving. So we're gonna be leaving from Port Charlotte. Big X is where we are starting.
We'll do Dry Tortugas in the Keys.
Yep, Dry Tortugas has been a destination we have wanted to do for quite some time.
Yep. And then we'll head over to the Bahamas from there.
The Bahamas from there, and then after that point, we're gonna go south. We'll probably make it down island eventually if everything goes as planned. Probably end up spending the hurricane season either in South America, so we're gonna do the Bahamas for a little bit, maybe make our way to Puerto Rico, go down island. We don't want to rush through this. We know that rushing it and getting new content every week is good for us with the YouTube channel.
But we want you guys and us to experience what these places are actually like. What it is like to live on the island, what it's like for cost of living on the island.
We'll be going down island. I would say maybe this is gonna be what, summer of 2018?
Yep, so then by that point it's gonna get us into summer of 2018.
So we need to be out of the box. That's my rough attempt of the box. And if people don't know about what the box is, it's for insurance. And we are going to carry whole insurance throughout most of the trip, so we do want to comply with that.
Yep.
So the box says, if you're in there during hurricane season, you aren't covered.
Not totally accurate picture, but you get the idea.
No, definitely not.
So we're gonna be out of the box.
So summer 2018, somewhere in there. And then from there, I mean, this is really lofty, and the only reason we're doing this is because as viewers, when we were watching sailing series, we wanted to know, like, where are you headed?
Yeah.
Like, what's the plans here? And now that we own a boat and we do a YouTube series, we understand why they don't really go over it, because it's plans. So, once we spend summer 2018 down here, break out a fresh new map, we will maybe go back up the islands, or more than likely what we're going to do is we're going to traverse west across South America, northern South America, and then come up through Central America to Cuba. At that point, it'll be 2019. Our goal is to eventually get to the Baltic, so if we can cross in the summer of 2019, cross the Atlantic, maybe see an old friend in the UK, and then check out the Baltic for the summer of 2019. Who knows if any of this is going to come to fruition. We wanted to put it out there for you guys so that you can know what's going through our heads and where we're thinking of going. So let us know what you think about our plans. Let us know if there's any goal destinations that you have that you'd like us to stop and see.
Yeah, and that's where we sit financially with everything. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about financially or our plans, let us know.
We're an open book, as you guys probably know by now, so reach out if you have any questions about what we're doing or costs. I hope this episode helped you guys out with your adventure plans, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'm on a river that winds on forever. Follow till I get where I'm going. Maybe I'm heading to die, but I'm still gonna try. I guess I'm going alone.
Oh my gosh, I am over the moon right now. What are we making?
6 knots.
Hell yeah. We had to reset the anchor.
Alright, so the guys are going to free dive the anchor.